meeting. This is today, June 1st, 2021. Pursuant to Governor Charlie Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This public meeting of the Lawrence City Council for the City of Lawrence, Massachusetts is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted, but the public can listen and or view this meeting while in process by use of the Facebook and YouTube web access, which is referenced on this agenda item. Members of the public attending this meeting virtually will be allowed to make comments if they wish to do so during the portions of the hearings designated for public comment by use of the web and phone access provided with the Lawrence City Council Facebook page, the Lawrence City Council YouTube page, and this Zoom address. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, Councilor Gonzalez,
Present.
Councilor Selena Reyes, Councilor Abdul,
Present.
Councilor Levy,
Councilor Payano.
present.
Thank you. Councilor Payano,
Present.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Present.
Councilor Rodriguez, Councilor Estela Reyes,
Present.
Councilor Selena Reyes, Councilor Rodriguez, Council President LaPlante.
Present. We have a quorum.
Councilor Levy is present.
Duly noted. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you.
At this point, I would like to ask for a moment of silence. Now, will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
One nation, under God, indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
For all.
No.
Thank you very much. We have a full meeting this evening, and as we always do, we start off with public participation. As always, you have 2.5 minutes to say whatever it is that you want to say. Address the full council in its entirety and not any individual city councilor. The clerk will ring a bell at 2 minutes to let you know that you're nearing the end of the 2.5 minute portion. So raise your hand or signal to me that you're ready to go. And public participation is now open. I see Mr. Mali. Did you want to go first this evening, sir?
Yes, sir. Good evening, honorable members. Humayun Mali, 53 Chestnut Street. In this important election year, we the citizens are united to say contract for Lawrence Police now. Our police department, with the impeccable leadership of Honorable Chief Roy Vass, has done excellent job to protect our citizens. Remember sacrifices of police officers such as Police Officer Sato at the Columbia gas crisis, fire and explosion. We pray for the recovery and well-being Officer Carl Farrington, who injured at Springfield Street. Million thanks to Honorable Kendrick Vasquez, such a great leader for our city, leading Lawrence for the better future. We must support the leadership of Kendrick Vasquez as a great leader. Million thanks to our DPW workers and their union in this pandemic. Make Lawrence a beautiful city. Hardworking DPW workers deserve the best raise. Million thanks to Honorable Superintendent Cynthia Paris for helping our safety officer, James Milley. Safety officer Milley is loved by many and is a cousin to Honorable Mayor Sullivan. Our citizens support James Milley. Honorable Superintendent Cynthia Paris, one of the best superintendents in the history of our city. Since her arrival, Lawrence Public School moving forward. Lawrence Teachers Union must know 83,000 citizens are behind them. Important message from our citizen to Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Haley. we would never vote for you for her ambition to become governor of Massachusetts, since he has been the worst Massachusetts Attorney General. We are united to say with one voice, Blue Lives Matter, support senior officers union, firefighters, and DPW union. We demand you declare September 13th Day of Police Appreciation. Honorable Superintendent Cynthia Paris, thank you for help our safety officer. Lawrence always is strong. Lawrence always unite. Contract for Lawrence Police now. Thank you.
Mr. Molly, thank you. Just reminding, there's no political speech from public participation, endorsement of any particular candidates for any particular position. Just be mindful of that the next time you participate in the public participation. Is there anybody else who wishes to participate this evening in public participation? Hearing none.
I would like to speak.
Okay, your name and address, please, for the record.
Sure, Kelly Staniszewski, 47 Hamlet Street, Lawrence, Mass.
You have the floor.
Sure, I wanted to speak on S27 and S2452. Both of those are in Boston right now, trying to extend certain measures adopted in the state of emergency. It is to keep the public out of the meetings that are held to make decisions that impact us all. An emergency order is not supposed to last over a year. This pandemic that has kept the city of Lawrence in red from the beginning is and was a fraud. The city of Lawrence has, on the lowest number that I found, about 80,000 people population-wise. 1%, following real math and real science, is 800 people. Lawrence has had 250 deaths, well under the 1%, which accounts for 0.003%. Keeping in mind, 64 of those came from the nursing home in Lawrence. I'm not overlooking any deaths from COVID or mean any disrespect regarding a life lost. Even the state of Massachusetts has 6 million with the same death rate, 0.003, not even 1%. We have shut down the city and allowed draconian measures to dictate our lives for the past year, keeping children from school, and when they're allowed, now we ask them to be masked. Why I asked to push the vaccine? When you're on social media, you get fact checked for even asking a logical question. It's almost certain that this was created in a lab that flip-flop Fauci funded with our taxpayers' dollars. He's not even an elected official. The last time I checked, you were elected by the people, for the people, and this nonsense needs to stop. Public meetings should be in public, and if you want a remote option, great. Governor Baker mentioned more remote participation. Somehow he just doesn't get it. People were participating because they were mad that their rights were being taken away. Not one elected official, no teacher unions, no pediatricians, not one person stood up for our constitutional rights or what was best for for us, business owners, or our children. This city and the state glorify staying home.
2.5 minutes are over. Just wrap your last thought up.
Sure. I just wanted to say, how much did the city receive from the COVID funding, us being in the red since day one? Did this actually increase your payout? Was this the incentive to keep people scared this past year? I am asking whether those bills are passed or not to please open up for public meetings.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak? Keeping in mind, of course, first 2 minutes you get a bell, and then after 2.5 minutes, you're able to, that you're supposed to finish speaking. Anybody else? Hearing none, the public participation section of this meeting is now concluded. The city clerk has taken the notes of the comments that were made this evening and have inserted those comments into our city's record. At this point, counselors, we do have a number of guests who are with us this evening, and I'd like to see if I can get a motion to take document number 17019 off of tabled matters. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilor Abdu, seconded by President Estela Reyes. Roll call, please.
Stella Reyes, Councilor Stella Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano, Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor Abdul,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion to take this off the table has passed. Counselors, we didn't do this last year because of COVID. We are about to embark in an opportunity to really pay and recognize some of the outstanding graduates from our city who have either graduated or about to graduate in the next week or so. And these are some of our best, some of our brightest. And I think that we will all walk away this evening knowing that we've got a lot of fantastic people, not only the people that we're going to recognize this evening, but we have a lot of students and graduates out there that are really going to make their mark in our city and that are shining. And so I know that I look forward to, I know that many of you do as well, to learn about who it is that has received such high praise and it's such accomplishments. And tonight we're going to feature those students from our schools, and we're going to hear a little bit about them, and maybe they'll say a few words as well. And I know that with them this evening, many of them actually have some school administrators who are present. Certainly, if they have a word or two they want to chime in, that is perfectly acceptable. So at this point, we're going to go through each one. We are in order. They come from each of the schools. Those schools include the Greater Lawrence Technical School, Central Catholic, Lawrence High School, Abbott Lawrence Academy, and Northern Essex Community College. But if having said all that, I would like to turn the floor over right now to Mr. Abdu for a motion to honor Mr. Kangley. Mr. Abdu.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. With that, I am happy to be here this evening and would love to make a motion to recognize Kangley for his outstanding accomplishments in 2021 as a graduate of the Upper Academy of Lawrence High School. And I submit that to you in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Discussion, Mr. Abdu.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to open with Kangley is not only a scholar student. I understand that he has a 4.8 GPA and will be attending UMass Amherst in the fall as an engineering student, but that he's gone through 4 years at the Upper Academy and hasn't only been a tremendous student, but also has taken some of the more challenging coursework that the Upper Academy has to offer and has taken courses through Northern Essex Community College, which I assume, don't know for a fact that those would be applicable to his college transcript when he gets to UMass Amherst. My understanding is he has competed in such things as a high level of mathematics, Calculus 2, and has just been an outstanding academic that has also been involved with the student body, with the campus life and such things as the robotics club. My understanding further is that he plays bass and is involved with video activities on campus. So Kangley has not only been an academic, but also part of his community, part of his school community, and has done so at the highest level with a 4.8 cum at the Upper Academy. And so with that, I will close my comments of congratulations to Kang and for the accomplishments he's achieved over the last several years at the Upper Academy and elementary school, and wish him well at UMass. And with that, I would submit that in the form of, well, I've already submitted the motion, but I present him to you and to my colleagues on the City Council.
Thank you very much. Is there any other members of this? Let me have Mr. Reynoso who wishes to speak on this matter. Mr. Reynoso.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ed Reynoso, and I'm the principal of the Upper School Academy. I am delighted that Khan is getting this recognition. As Councilor LaPlante said, he has been involved in many of the higher level courses that we've offered the early college program, which is the program that he's part of with Northern Essex. Those credits he can transfer to any state school. So most of the credits that he's taken in Northern Essex will be transferable to UMass Lowell. I'm just excited, and I'm super excited that we will be able to honor him at our graduation in person this year. As you guys know, last year was a difficult year for our students. And I appreciate him, his family, and I wish him the best moving forward. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Reynoso. Is there any councilors who wish to speak at this time? I will now ask Councilor Dela Cruz, did you wish to speak?
Council President.
Yes, Councilor Dela Cruz.
Thank you, Council President. We wish him well. We hope that he get the support that he needs to continue to go on higher levels. And I know that together with Mr. Reynoso, they have accomplished good things for the Opera Academy School. It was the school that I taught, and that I'm happy to see kids being successful from that school. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Kang, are you with us? Do you have any words you want to share with the council at this point? Just unmute yourself.
Hi. First of all, thank Ms. Dr. Reynoso, thank Councilor Dela Cruz, and thank Ms. Adu for your kind words. Again, my name is Kang Lee. If you want to get my name correctly, it's Lê, because that's Vietnamese. I have been here in United States or just Lawrence for 4 years. I came to this country like 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years. I was living in Vietnam for most of my life. And for me, it's hard to believe what I have done here. Like, many people say it's hard work, but I think there's something. I think and something is the help from my teachers, my family, and my peers. And I think those things brought me today and here, and all of the recognitions. And yeah, and for me, I think the kind words from you is the best thing has happened to me like ever in my life. And I came to the United States. I think that would say something. And again, thank you.
Thank you, Kim, and congratulations on all your work that you have done. If there are no other members of the council who wish to speak, I will call the question. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next student or graduate will be introduced. I'll look for a motion from Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez. Councilor?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to recognize Griselis Fermin for her outstanding accomplishment as a 2021 graduate. She is graduating from Abbott Lawrence Academy.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by a lot of people. I think I heard Councilor Selena Reyes, I think. Discussion, Councilor Rodriguez, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Council President. I would like to just say a few things about Griselis. She's graduating with a 4.6 GPA, and she is actually living in my district. That's why I'm taking the floor to actually be part of this recognition. She lived in my district for quite some time, I believe. And she actually she's going to be attending to Emory University. Her major is going to be in finance and economics, and so far her award has been the LPN she have, She also have a great distinction, the National High Honors, and many other accomplishments that she have so far. She have a scholarship, and one of her scholarship was from the Rins O'Leary Awards. She also have served the community of Lawrence, doing work as a part-timer. She worked for Groundwork Lawrence, and she also keep on doing the right thing, elevating the standards for the students in the city of Lawrence. I would like to to say a few things about her college. I have done some research about Emory School, and this school is great. This is basically what we're looking for our student to, you know, do great things. Emory School is number 26 in the country in business school. Number 13 as an MBA program. Which is the school is number 29 in law school, and number 22 as a medical school, and engineering also. That school is great, and that's basically what we keep on fighting for our students to have the best and keep on investing in our education in the city of Lawrence. With that said, counselors, I would like to expand my recognition to her family, and all of the staff of the Abbott Academy and the Lawrence High School.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. I'm not sure there's anybody from the school that's here. Are there any counselors who wish to speak at this point? At this point, we have a fantastic individual who's going to go to Emory and did a great job. I'd like for there to be a roll call vote, please. Clerk, please call the roll. I'm sorry, before I get there, Grisellas is with us, I believe. Grisellas, are you with us?
Yes, I'm right here.
Do you have a few words you want to share with us this evening?
I just want to say thank you for everyone, and thank you for the recognition. I think this is a great way of feeling students like they're recognized for their hard work. And it's good to show the community that, in fact, there are great things happening at Alicia's. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Well,
if I might, Mr. President.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, Griselis, do you mind sharing with us the school you went to before you went to the high school?
So I went to Partham Middle School.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. If there's no other discussion on this, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor de la Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion passes. The next graduate will be introduced, I believe, by Councilor Selena Reyes. Councilor, you have the floor.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to congratulate Ashley Lima. Ashley having a student at Greater Lawrence Regional Technical High School since September 2017. She is studying in the medical assistant program and is looking to further her education in English field in college. And as a student at Greater Lawrence, she is certified in CPR, First Aid, and OSHA, and is a certified medical assistant. Ashley has few experience medical assistant at Stewart Medical Group, Dr. Park in Andover, also in Stewart Medical Group in Methuen. She was also a caregiver assistant at New England Cardiology in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And she used her career area skill and knowledge to work as a medical assistant at New England Eye Infection Specialist in Lawrence, Mass. Also, she will attending a Northern Essex Community College in fall. I'm so proud because Ashley has been very successful in her academic coursework. At Greater Lawrence, I 4.39 GPA. I'm so glad to recognize her because she is the valedictorian for the class of 2021. When you had that opportunity to represent the whole class, it's amazing when we had the opportunity to recognize our youth. That's why I want to say congratulations, Ashley, and keep going.
So that's a heck of a motion, Counselor. Thank you. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Payano. Any further discussion? Is there anybody from the staff that's with us tonight?
I'm Tim Cusack. I get the pleasure of being Ashley's guidance counselor at Greater Lawrence Tech. Ashley is a graduate of the Frost Middle School, and Ashley is an outstanding member of the community and an outstanding representative of her family. And we appreciate everything you guys do recognizing these outstanding students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cusack. Any other counselors who wish to speak at this time before I ask Miss Ashley to speak with us? Ashley, are you with us? Ashley? I see you're here. There we go. You have the floor. Let's say a few words.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for all the kind words that were said today. And thank you for the opportunity and the honor of being recognized by the City Council of Lawrence. Thank you.
You are welcome. If there's no other counselors who wish to speak, I will call the question. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Salina Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Abdu,
Yes.
Counselor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Counselor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Another graduate from one of our schools. This individual will be introduced and a motion will be made by Counselor Jorge Gonzalez. Counselor Gonzalez, what is your motion?
Thank you, Councilor President. I would like the motion to recognize Mariel Blois.
Second the motion.
There's a motion to recognize Mariel Blois and has been properly seconded. Counselor Gonzalez, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Let me take some air because I'm so humble. We have some students in our beautiful city of Lawrence. They if they want to get educated, the efforts they make. Like Mariel came 2015 from the Dominican Republic with no English, and she compromised everything that what I'm going to say. She graduated from North Essex Community College with an associate degree in biology and high honor 357. Mariel joined the early college program his senior year of high school and earned 12 college credit before graduating from high school. 12 before she graduated from high school. She transferred those credits to North Essex Community College and as a participant in the Lawrence Promise Program, which I understand that City of Lawrence, the council, we support that program. And the expenses, all they pay for 4 years that she earned associate degrees, including tuition, books, supplies. She say, I will have trouble describing what this means to me. If I didn't have the scholarship, I would have overworked myself, like having to take semesters off. Mariel mother, Karina Tavares, she's thrilled with the Promise program. And I'm so happy to have a daughter who could attain this goal, having the Lawrence program. Happy. A daughter could attain this goal, having the law program, helping financially, I mean a lot to our family. Mariel is transferred to use my law to continue studying biology, her goal is to enroll in physical assistant school. She wanted to be dermatology. And she coming from the family, she have uncles, doctors, and cousins that are doctors. Mariel, I'm so humbled they recognize you, what all the work you have done to get good education. You want to continue with your education. And I'm so proud as a Laurentian that you are part of the Lawrence that we need to move Lawrence forward. Thank you very much for the work you have done and continue your education, Mariel. Congratulations. Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome, Counselor. Thank you. Are there any school officials who, this would be the time to speak if there are any comments that want to be made?
Council President.
Yes.
Council President, it's a great opportunity to congratulate all of them. I wish we could be together to hug and congratulate all of them who has achieved so greater, higher honor in their life. This is the beginning, and we wish them all to continue to be successful, because just living in the city of Lawrence, the only way we're going to raise the name very high for the city of Lawrence is through them, through the work that they have dedicated to the city. And we are very humbled and thank you for sacrificing themselves to become, very soon to become professional, and very soon we hope that they all come back to the city of Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other councilors who wish to speak, or any other officials? If not, I'm going to ask Mariel if she wishes to say a few words.
First of all, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for introducing me to everyone. And thank you, Ernie Greensdale, for allowing me to share my story. Of course, thank you, Mr. President Mark LaPlante and President Langland and everyone else who made this possible for me. On another note, thank you for this recognition. It truly means the world to me to see that my education is something valued and supported by everyone in every single way. It really motivates me even more to keep it up and see how far I could go. I will forever be beyond grateful for the opportunity NACO gave me with the Lawrence Promise Scholarship. I've said this before and I'll say it one more time. It was a blessing for me and my family, and we will forever be thankful for everything.
Thank you, Mariel, and congratulations. If there is no one else who wishes to speak on this matter, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Our final graduate that will be recognized this evening will be introduced by her district counselor, Councilor Dave Abdu. Mr. Abdu.
Mr. President, thank you once again. And I am very honored to make the following motion. I want to make a motion to recognize Addison Cook and for her outstanding accomplishments in 2021 as a graduate of Central Catholic High School. And I submit that to you in the form of a motion.
Motion
second.
Has it been seconded? I think it was seconded by Councilor Gonzalez. Mr. Abdu, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. I am honored to represent Addison, and I want to recognize the fact that she's joined here this evening by her school president, Chris Sullivan, as well as former principal and longtime Central Catholic Administrator, David DiFilippo. I know they joined me in pride, myself as a class of 1985 graduate of Central Catholic, that Addison is going to graduate from Central with a 4.58 cum in her senior year. And not only is she succeeding with a 4.58, but she's doing it while taking AP classes in psychology, calculus, environmental science, and Spanish, excelling at all of them and pulling down that 4.8 cum. But she's also a National Honor Society student who has been involved in theater for the last 4 years, working on stage crew. Additionally, she's in Cinema Club, an active student ambassador, and a member of the Student Alumni Association. So as an alumni, I appreciate her. Addie participates also in bowling club, ski club, passport club, art club, and has been a member of the gymnastics team for 4 years at Central Catholic. She has also held jobs as a camp counselor, a Santa's helper at the mall. She's worked at Canterbury Lake, and most recently as a cookie salesperson. Before the pandemic, she loved going to concerts and movies, and done all of this while being one of the more involved students at Central Catholic. So again, not only a scholar, but an involved student in the fabric of her community. And my understanding is on a personal level that she is a very thoughtful, open-minded person who's a delight to be in her presence, and makes everyone around her a better person. She's going to be attending Providence College in the fall, where I understand she'll be studying health sciences, and she has expressed interest in both orthodontics and environmental science as well. So who knows what the future can bring for her, but with what she's accomplished in high school, it looks like whatever she wants to do at Providence College, the world is hers. And with that, I submit that to you, the form of a motion.
Second.
I believe the motion's been made and it has been seconded again. And thank you for those comments. Is there anyone else who wishes, anybody from the administration at Central? This is the time to speak if they wish to speak. If not, we will, Mr. Sullivan, did you want to say something? I saw your mouth open briefly.
I was waiting for I usually defer to let Mr. DiFilippo speak first.
Okay.
I just wanted to, on behalf of everybody at Central Catholic, we're grateful to the City Council and the City of Lawrence for honoring all of the students tonight. We're very proud of Addie. Councilor Abdu did a pretty terrific job of summarizing her achievements. What lies under the surface is a person who makes other kids feel better about themselves. And that's not a talent that comes easily. Addie we're going to miss her very much. We're very proud of what she's accomplished. And thank you for helping us to honor what she has achieved over the last 4 years of high school.
Great.
And if I could add I was deferring to the school president as I should. I just want to add my thanks to the Lawrence City Council for honoring all these great students tonight. Because if this city is going to continue to be strong and vibrant and a place that people want to live and work and play, it's going to be because of the educations that the students receive in our city. So thank you to the council for that. Everything you heard about Addie is true and even more. We only have a few minutes to honor her, but every single thing you heard from Councilor Abdu is absolutely, it's probably understated in my mind. And as a lifelong Lawrence resident myself, I take pride in the success of all of these students. And I'm confident that Lawrence is going to continue to be a vibrant city that welcomes all immigrants, all types of people and backgrounds, because that is the spirit that you see in these students today. So thank you. Congrats, Addie.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Are there any other counselors who wish to speak before I ask Addie to say a few words? Addie, are you with us?
I am.
You want to say a few words? The floor is yours.
Yes. First of all, sorry I'm late. I had work. Second of all, I just want to say congratulations to all the other students I didn't get to see, but congratulations to them. I just want to say thank you to the City Council, Mr. DiFilippo and Mr. Sullivan. I am going to Providence next year, and my major is health policy and management. And I'm also interested in genetics and nutrition. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna miss Central so much, and I love the school for all 4 years.
Thank you, Addie. Well stated. If there's no other counselors who wish to speak, I'll call the roll, please.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Thank you to all the graduates. Congratulations. You've got a lot of fans on the city council and elsewhere who are in support of what you're doing and your accomplishments. Go forth, keep representing us, keep doing what you're doing. And we are so proud of all of you. And just keep up the great work. You're making our city much better. So thank you. At this point, I'd like to take a motion. Is there a motion to table this matter?
So moved.
Motion made.
Second.
Seconded, I think, by Councilor Anna Levy. Roll call, please.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, motion tabled carries. This motion is tabled till next year. Thank you. At this point, we are going to go to public hearings. I believe there's going to be a motion to take document 8421 out of order. Who's making that motion?
So move.
Motion
So
by
move.
Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes. Who is seconding it?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Anna Levy. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call to take it out of order.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes. Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. At this point, clerk, we'll ask you to read the public hearing notice for document 8421.
Document 8421. Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the approval of the loan order in the amount of $58 million to pay costs of planning, designing, constructing, equipping, and furnishing a new police station at 55 Lowell Street, including all other costs incidental and related thereto, consistent with the terms and conditions as outlined in the loan order certification for borrowing authorization submitted by the CAFO for the City of Lawrence to the City Council on or about April 29, 2021. Said bond authorization states that the amount of borrowing authorized by said vote shall be reduced by any grant amounts received by the city from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for the project pursuant to the amounts, the memorandum of understanding between the city and the Commonwealth dated as of June 17, 2020, as the same may be amended from time to time. Any premium received by the city upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this order, thus any such premium applied to the payment of the cost of issuance of such bonds or notes may be applied to the payment of costs approved by this order in accordance with General Law, Chapter 44, Section 20 of the General Laws, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount. The treasurer is authorized to file an application with the appropriate officials of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, known as the Commonwealth, to qualify under Chapter 44A of the General Laws, any and all bonds of the city authorized to be borrowed pursuant to this loan order, and to provide such information and execute such documents as such officials of the Commonwealth may require in connection therewith. Persons wishing to be heard on this matter shall be afforded the opportunity.
Very good. The public hearing is now open. Are there any members of the public who wish to
Good
speak on
evening,
this matter?
honorable members.
Mr.
Humayun
Mo-
Mali, 53 Chester Street. Citizen statement in support of the new police station in Lawrence. Good evening, honorable members. Now, in the year of 2021, we, the citizen, demand of you support new police station for our city, a wonderful city with the best police department. Lawrence, with a population of more than 83,000 people, need the best police station possible. As the honorable councillor knows, Lawrence Police Department, with a budget of only $14 million and 144 police officers, has done the best. Lawrence Police Department, with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Chief Roy Bass, has done excellent job to protect our citizens. Remember brave police officers such as Police Officer Carl Farrington, who injured in a line of duty in a Springfield Street, or brave officer such as Officer Sato in a Columbia gas crisis. We, the Honorable Police Department, they need the best police station to serve our city. This new police department enable our brave police officers with having a state-of-the-art police department ready to meet the needs of our citizens in the year 2021. In designing a new police department that create the best home for our police officers, we must consider comfort for our police officers and accessibility of the police station for our citizens to enhance the fundamental philosophy of community involvement to have the best police force for our city. The important reason of having a new police station are as follows: give the best opportunity for our wonderful Lawrence Police Department to serve and protect our citizens. That's number two. The new police department and police station building enable our police officers to have a better chance for training and professional training. Number three, the new police building help to improve the police department and our community interaction. When our fellow citizens were asked, how do you feel when you contact Lawrence police officer at the police station? The citizen always reply, the police officers are very professional, but we need a new building. Number four, the new police building based on the best state-of-the-art design enable our police department to be more efficient and in a time of crisis. Number five, psychological boost the officer morale and create such a positive reputation for our city of 83,000 that we support the best police department and the union. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other members of the public who wish to speak on this matter? Not seeing any other members of the public who wish to speak on this matter. I'm asking for a motion. Is there a motion?
President, I raise my hands.
Council Maria De La Cruz has her hand raised for the motion. Councilor, what's your motion?
No, for the public.
This is time for the motion. I will let you speak after the public hearing when the council speaks.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Approved. Seconded by Councilor Estella, Vice President Estella Reyes. Discussion, Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes, thank you, Council President. It is my pleasure and a great opportunity to speak on behalf of the Lawrence Police Department. 4 years ago, I visited the location, the police department location, with Senator Barbara L'Italian. She brought a representation from the Senate.
All right.
Marquis, Elizabeth Warren, they visited the things that I found at that location was.
Counselor, I am so sorry. We can come back to you. You're breaking up. So why don't we, is there another counselor which to speak on this matter?
Council President.
Councilor Rodriguez. Councilor De La Cruz, Councilor Rodriguez has the floor. We're going to come back to you.
No, I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm having
take a
difficulty. I'm sorry, Councilor Rodriguez. I had difficulty with.
I've got the floor. I've got the floor. Councilor De La Cruz, you want to try to continue now?
Thank you. I've been having some difficulty with the internet.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going through the same thing, but I am. I'm connecting to my phone and my laptop. I would like to say that I visited the location a couple of times with the Senator, Barbara Italian, and with the state representation, and even a delegation from Ed Markey, Elizabeth Warren came to visit the location. And we cannot continue for the chief not to have his own office, his own location, that is no privacy. That's one part of the chief that is working in such a horrible condition, I would say. Besides that, it has been a lot of improvement in the building, but at the same time, they need the space, they need a location, they need a building. I don't think we can wait anymore to get a nice police department where we get the representation that we need. I understand that now when you go, you don't have to be lining outside, but it's still, I think the police department deserve a building that they can do a better job to serve our citizens. Thank you, and I hope that we can do a good vote tonight.
Thank you, Councilor. Back to you, Councilor Rodriguez.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Well, I would like to just, take the discussion that we have at the Budget and Finance Committee and part of the discussion that we have at the Ordinance Committee, at the Budget and Finance Committee, sorry, I'm not part of Ordinance anymore. It was on regard to the money, and it was on regard to the actual cost and estimating of $59 million. The reason that I would like to go back to that discussion is because as of today, we have a project that is going to cost $59 million. The city of Lawrence is going to pay up to max $10 million. We already allocate $1 million in this project as a commitment to the project. Now we are borrowing the rest of the money, $58 million. So the state is going to pay for $50 million, $49 million, sorry, and the rest is going to be the city of Lawrence. So that sounds great. I love the project. I support the project. I'm going to vote in favor of the project because I believe that the city deserves a better infrastructure that actually allow the police department to do a better job to serve our community. All of our job is to serve. They also serve the community. So with that said, I would like to ask a few questions in regard to the estimate, and I wanted to get to know more about as of how we get to that number, $59 million. And I know that we have part of the discussion, but we're going to have the proper people to discuss how we get to the $59 million cost and estimate for this project. So I actually would like to extend that as a question to anybody that would like to answer that.
Thank you, Councilor Rodriguez. I appreciate the comments and your continued support on the project. I would first like to say congratulations to the students myself for their tremendous work. I'm envious of their GPA. No time that I ever have a GPA like that. So it says good things about them and the future of Lawrence. So as you know, as you stated eloquently, a $59 million total project, the city is all in for at max $10 million. So basically the city is getting almost $60 million project for only 16% of the cost, which is tremendous. And as you know, you've all been in the building. It's an eyesore, 1957's building. And not only the working conditions for all the offices and some of the closets offices have been working in, the building is out of compliance in so many ways with handicap accessibility, nowhere besides the first floor and the cell block area and things like that. And to Councilor Del Cruz's statement, the public has to wait outside in the rain sometimes to get service, and there is no private areas for anyone inside the building to have a conversation with a police officer. That being said, we know it's a long time coming, and we're really looking forward to it. And it's really going to be something that the community can be proud of. And I think we have a great opportunity with the state funding, 84% of the building. So to your point, Counselor, I think there are several individuals on the call today, one from Context, the design company, and one from the state that can, I'm sure, answer your questions relative to that. So I will turn it over to those two gentlemen to see which one wants to pick up that question.
Gentlemen?
Hi, I'm Scott Schultz. I'm from DCAM. I'm a senior project manager. Basically, I'm here to answer any questions, but to give a little oversight, I believe I was provided with a copy of your council packet, and I believe it was included for your reference, the Memorandum of Understanding between the state and the Commonwealth. The actual cost of what was originally 54 million and has now gone up to 59 was established by assessing the cost per square foot for design and construction of police stations throughout the Commonwealth over the last 10 years, factoring in appropriate escalation because of rising costs. The costs vary anywhere from as low as $600 per square foot, which are more for much smaller rural police stations, up to over $1,000 per square foot for definitely larger municipalities. We based our target square footage cost of $900 per square foot based upon the most recent comparable effort, which the design team, Context, has recently completed in Medford. And we identified that as being, a similar size facility to what would serve Lawrence. It's also a very urbanized area, and demographics very, very much the same. And so that's how we established the project budget. In addition, as detailed in the Memorandum of Understanding, forgive me, the city, because of the use of state funds and as part of the grant program that we've established between the state and the city, the project is obligated to adhere to DCAM's standards for study and design in all of our manuals. And as part of that, which we're going through right now, is the study phase to establish, it carries the project through schematic design. And at which case, once the schematic design is finished, a comprehensive cost estimate is prepared. At which case, then the city is obligated by statute to certify the study. And when you certify the study, that basically, for lack of a better way to say it, locks in the maximum price, which our target, given we've been very conscious, the state's maximum contribution is 49 million. We understand that the city, with construction of the new school at the same time with this, we've very much kept in mind, the cash flow obligations that the city has. And so that's why, we set the maximum price, which basically determines how large the police station can be, using that $900 per square foot. But once the study is certified by the city, it's then approved by the state, and that sets the final cost, which cannot be changed. So 59 million will be the maximum budget. If by chance there's any unforeseen conditions or anything should happen, if conditions change by greater than 10%, the study has to be recertified, which doesn't happen all that frequently at DCAM because we really adhere to strong budget
parameters, given that we deal with only public funds. We do carry 3 contingencies throughout our budget. We carry a design contingency, which is basically for the designers and the city as they're going through the study process to identify any things that may be unforeseen at the time. But then we also carry 2 other contingencies. We carry an estimating contingency, which basically factors in, especially with what we're going through right now with the pandemic, where the supply chains are slower than they have been, causing prices to rise, as well as we carry an escalation contingency to identify any cost increases, which basically on average is about 4% a year. And for this particular project, we're carrying a 10% contingency, at least through the study phase, to account for any unforeseen economic conditions that we don't know about at this time, such as we're experiencing with the cost in lumber, HVAC, and steel. And I'm happy to answer any other specific questions that you might have.
Sure. Thank you for the answer to you, Mr. President. So right now we are having in front of us an estimate that is based on square footage for projects that are similar to the police station that we are going to build in the city of Lawrence. And and do you know, like, by when we probably going to have a more precise comprehensive cost estimated that is going to be certified by the city? Usually how long that might take, because that's basically what I'm going to set up the final price for the project with contingency, as you mentioned.
On that, I'll defer to either Rick Jackson, who is the project manager for the city, or to Zell from the architect to talk about the schedule.
Are those speakers present this evening?
Yes, we are present.
Okay.
Rick, did you want to say anything first, or?
No, you can take over, and I will speak after if there's any questions that are left.
Okay, well, thank you for having us.
Just identify yourself, please, before you begin your comments.
Del Tonsick. I'm a project manager at Context Architects. We are currently in the process of going through the study phase for this design project. And part of what the project entails, as was mentioned, will be a detailed cost estimate that's performed by our cost estimating professional, who we have used over the years for these types of projects. And they will do a comprehensive analysis of what the final schematic design for this project will be once that is approved. We are in process, and that process will take us probably through the late fall, but by the time we will have a finished design and a finalized schematic cost estimate, which will ensure us that either we will be on target with the budget that's been established, or if there are any inconsistencies or any variations, that'll be the time that we will analyze what those issues may be, so that we are cognizant of how to proceed. But the process that we're in now will take us, I think, through the early fall before it's completed.
So just to better understand the process, the state maximum amount is not set up yet, but the city maximum amount of 10 millions, is fixed. Is that correct?
The state is in for 49 million total. No more than that.
No more than that. And so any after is going to be
responsibility of the city.
Responsible for the city, because that's what I was
Councilor Rodriguez has the floor. Councilor Rodriguez.
Because that's basically what I was always concerned, like thinking about that, because as our last conversation, it was the opposite. So maximum amount for the city was 10 million, no more. And but understanding the process, it could be more.
Well, we're capped at that. I think if for some reason the project balloons, I think if what you're getting at, we're going to have to make cutbacks to the building, and that would be square footage to bring the cost back down to that $59 million max. I don't know if that answers your question. We're not looking to spend 70 million. If they come back at that, we'd have to make cutbacks to the project to get back to the budget.
Yeah,
That is part of the
essentially that's go ahead, Mr. Sale.
Mr. Tomczyk, I think you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to reiterate what the chief noted, which is the fact that with this kind of budget limit, part of the process is making sure that the design doesn't exceed what the projected budget is. And we do our very best to make sure that our estimate is in the end in line with what the initial budget that's been established and approved is. However, there is a caveat to the entire process, which is that nobody is absolutely sure what the exact amount of contract this project will come in at. There are always variations, and that we can't, nobody has a crystal ball to know the exact price that the project will come in at in a public bidding situation. But that said, because we will be doing not only the schematic design cost estimate, but once that is approved to proceed, we will also follow up with a construction. When construction documents are at 50 or 60%, I'm not sure, we do a follow-up cost estimate to have a much more detailed analysis based on literally all of the elements that are going into the project to check on the price and the estimate that came at the schematic design level. And that verifies, in our mind, confirms that we are right on track, or if there's something that kicks it out of whack from the schematic design, that's when we look at what that issue might be. And if it could be anything as simple as we could have the certain square footages of certain spaces that are more expensive than other spaces, reversed, or there could be equipment that we're not necessarily properly pricing. There's any number of factors that enter into the developed cost estimate that comes to at the late stages of the design. And then when we have all of those things ironed out, we will make sure that the price and the design meets the budget.
Okay, so just as final question, that way I can release the floor to other councilors. So the maximum amount, the range that you actually the range for square footage that it get us to $59 million. What was that? What was that range? Do you have that range from the top of your head?
I can answer that.
Sure. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Richard Jackson, CHA Companies, the owner's project manager for the city of Lawrence. On what the information that Scott provided earlier in the estimate being 900 a square foot, that provides a roughly 60,000 square foot building for the city of Lawrence. And following up on what Zell had mentioned, that this is carefully monitored throughout the design process for the estimates being, kept in control. And if they do start to go up, then the design is revisited.
All right. And just as final quick question, we mentioned that I think the city of Bedford you mentioned, police department that was just finished, that is kind of similar. That was the city that it was mentioned.
Medford, it's the city of Medford, we
Medford.
completed a new police station there last year. Actually, yes, it was just completed recently.
And how much ended up being the square footage? Obviously with COVID things changed, but I mean, I just wondering.
It's a slightly smaller building at about, I think it's 37,000 square feet, I believe, is the final number, although don't hold me to that.
And I mean, what about the square footage of construction finished?
I don't have that number. I would have to look that up.
Do you mind sending it to me, and that way I can have that as an informational thing?
You would like to know what the final square foot cost total for that project was?
Yes. Oh, in any other that is probably similar that you guys have done in the last year or so, or 2 years. And I know that things might change because of COVID. Prices are different. Bidding process might be the same, but I mean, bidding result might change because of COVID. I understand that.
Okay, we can certainly do that.
Did you want to add something, Mr. Schlitt, to this conversation?
Yes, please. One thing that Mr. Tonsek didn't mention, but as part of DCAM's process, before we certify the study, we will bring the construction manager on board before the final estimate is done. So not only will you have the architect's cost estimator doing an estimate, you'll have the construction manager preparing their cost estimate based upon what they think their prices will be, given that they're the ones running the field and that will be running the job in the field. And we will do a reconciliation meeting of the two if there is, assuming there would be a difference, there always are, to negotiate it down, which then, would become the final budget that gets certified in the study. But again, it couldn't exceed the maximum of 59 million. So you do have both, you basically are getting two cost estimates before the study is certified, one by the architect's estimator and one by the actual firm that will be doing the construction.
Appreciate the information. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Anybody else who hasn't spoken yet from the city council, now's the time to speak. Councilor Anna Levy.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I just only want to ask, you don't have any schematic design or any rendering that you can show to this member of the city council?
We are currently in the process of actually developing schematic designs, and we will soon have schematic plans and renderings of what the building will potentially look like. Yes, but not right this minute. They're not ready yet, but soon.
So there is nothing available for us, like
No, there is a deliverable, which is we do have a finished site plan. Site fit is what we call it. It's what how the building will sit in the site, and the size, roughly the size of the floor of each of the floors. And we do have a diagrammatic layout of the programmed spaces that will go into the plan of the building. And it's currently being planned as a 4-story building. We do know that in order to make sure that all of the program spaces are accounted for and that they're organized in a manner which is appropriate for the police station to function. And those documents are available. You can certainly view those.
We did send some initial documents to the council for the subcommittee hearing.
You should be able to get a hold of those to look at right now.
I do have a floor plan, a site plan that I can share.
Did you?
I believe we sent one to them in the documents.
With the budget, you said?
The budget and finance committee. We sent some documents there. I think the site plan was on there.
I
Yeah.
can share that, Chief, if you'd like.
Yes, I would like to.
Problem is, we got a black and white
There we
copy,
go.
so.
I'm not,
So this is you're looking at an aerial view of the site, which is across the street from the existing police station. And directly across the street is, you may be familiar with the fire station that's there. And next to that fire station is an empty lot currently owned by the city. That is the lot that the new new police station is proposed to be built on. The orange outline is the physical perimeter of the proposed building, police building, and that police building will extend onto Concord Street, and it runs in the back of the site, which will be made actually reserved for use only by the fire station and the police station for access and egress from the site. This is the form of the building is basically, as you can see it, it's sort of an L-shaped design that the front, the public access will be from Lowell Street into the building. And we also have, if you'd like to see the schematic, they're not actually real floor plans yet. They're still diagrammatic diagrams really, but we can show those to you as well if you want to put those up, Rick, if you have
Yes,
that.
please.
Do that.
I have the elevation sheets there.
This is a three-dimensional image that just
All right.
shows the volume of the building. It doesn't really, we haven't addressed what the building looks like or what the materials will be. This just shows you the amount of space, of volume of space that the building will actually take up in order to fit on the site, in order to contain the square footage that is needed for the building. We do have plans also, I think, in this package.
No, not in this package that I can find them and put them up. I'll stop sharing for a minute.
Okay.
So Mr. Jackson is looking for those, for something to share for conceptual design.
Okay, so I have another question while he's looking for the other drops. It's regarding, is going to be any junction between the fire department and the new station for the police department?
No. Separate, two separate.
No?
buildings.
It's going to be two separate buildings?
Correct.
Yeah. Currently,
Because at one point I heard that it's going to be like something in between that is going to be used by both.
There was different talks about constructing a public safety complex, which would have been hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's not happening in this project.
So as you can see now, these are the diagrams of the floor plans for the building. The first floor plan will have obviously the entrance, the public areas. There'll be a large community room that will serve many community functions as well as training functions for the police. There are other functions on the floor that will be mostly support areas. There's also the actual public access and a lot of records keeping that will happen there. There's also a firing range that the police will use for their training. And a lot of the other functions go onto the upper floors, which second floor, actually, if you go back to the other slide, the second floor is because Concord Street in the rear is about 8 feet above Lowell Street. The second floor is actually going to be raised up some, and the access to the police garages and their detention areas will be off of Concord Street at the second floor level. So the second floor rear level will be support functions for the garage, for all of the cruisers, plus the detention area for the police station, and a lot of the supporting facilities for patrol that on a daily basis. Those are all on the second floor. As we go further up on the third floor and the fourth floor will be the administration and the detectives area. Plus, on the third floor, there are large locker room areas. There's also a physical education fitness area, and there's also evidence storage facilities, and all of the other administrative functions that will take place to run the facility the way that it's programmed to be run. And all of these functions, the process has been to get the programmed areas to meet the requirements of the police and in the way that they want the building to function, and in having enough square footage to meet their needs as best as we can. Again, with the limitation of the total square footage of the total building. We could go into further detail, but as I said, these are diagrams that are being developed. The next step is to actually make these formalized in the sense that we will actually have corridors and rooms identified, their sizes identified, how they are accessed and how they relate to other spaces. All of those things will be brought into greater detail. And we also have to now plan for how the structure for the building will be constructed so that we can support all of the various kinds of spaces that we have in this building. Police stations are actually very complex in the sense that they have very, very different kinds of spaces that require different kinds of design features, and it makes it a more complicated building than, let's say, a standard office building, for example. So this is as much as this is where it's currently at, and we are now, like I said, finalizing and getting into the hard line of that schematic design and then looking at what the exterior of the building is going to be look like.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was very interesting. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Are there any other city councilors who wish to speak who haven't
I
spoken
think
yet?
Scott would like to say something. Scott,
Mr. Schilt?
You muted, Scott.
you're still muted.
Sorry about that. I did want to clarify one thing. According to DCAM standards, we still have to go through an alternatives evaluation phase. So the plans that were presented tonight are not the complete or final plans. It's a very long, detailed process. We probably will not have a final concept plan until some point early fall. So what Mr. Consec just presented will probably change quite a bit. By law, we have to go through these evaluations before we select a final alternative. And as part of that, the costs are a key driver in what the final outcome is.
Thank you. Are there any others councilors who wish to speak? If not, I'll go back to Councilor De La Cruz.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to direct my conversation, especially to the people who are going to construct this building. As you know, in this city, we need a lot of jobs for our people in the city. We hope that you take that into consideration when you're hiring for jobs. I understand that we have a community that speaks, some people don't speak English, but they are very good when it comes to do construction. Then I hope that you take that into consideration and to have a group of people from the city of Lawrence working as part of that construction. And I also would like to say that what's going to happen with the corner? My question now goes to what's going to happen with the corner where there was a business. Will that going to be part of the construction of the police department, or what's going to happen with that corner of Hanch Street and Lowell?
Hampshire and Lowell, that's a separate business. That business is going to stay there. On the other side of the fire department, that business is not going to be affected. That's not part of the project.
Then besides the parking lot, the parking lot is going to be, what is the parking lot at this moment? It's going to be the police, the PD's building?
Will be extra parking, we hope, in a separate project.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. I got two more city councilors who wish to speak in this order, Mr. Abdu, followed by Mr. Payano. Mr. Abdu.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm happy once again to speak on behalf of and in support of this police station. It has been a long road for many of us that have been following, certainly since the late 80s, early 90s. There's been Band-Aid after Band-Aid. And I think the first tangible step was a few years ago when we chose to purchase this property. We made a hard decision, the council did, to secure this property, and knowing and hoping that one day this opportunity would come. Very rare that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts assists to this degree a municipality to build a public safety building to the extent that it is. $49 million is a very large commitment by Governor Baker's administration when there's so many other needs. But Administration of Finance and DCAM have been interested, and it wasn't, I think it was 2016 when Governor Baker came and with many of us were on the council then, and we walked through that building on a lousy rainy day, and the building spoke for itself. And, the chief can correct me, but I believe we have approximately 160 sworn officers. And that's today. There's been many an officer that's worked in the conditions that are not fit for public servants that do what they do on a daily basis. They're just looking for a place that's free of mold, free of water coming in from the outside to the inside, and a place that, heck, I'll say a 20th century building. They take a 20th century building right now, but we have the opportunity for a 21st century building here, and leveraging, not ashamed to say it, leveraging a large portion of state money. And, at a time, there's other projects recently that this council has passed that the contingency was less than half of what the contingency on this is on this particular project. And I do believe that, $59 or $58 million is what we're talking about here, 9 of which, in addition to the million that Councilor Rodriguez had referenced, we're getting a lot for $9 million, additional $9 million. And not only are we getting 60,000 square feet of functional 21st century space for public servants to do their job, but also community space, and space that will be able to be used not only for community meetings, but also for community policing and the different types of outreach that go on a given day and week during a given year. And it's time. And the construction's only the first part of it. And DCAM is, or not DCAM, but any state entity, there is going to be minimum requirements for the prime as well as the subcontractors on this project. So, we will hopefully have quite a few Laurentians working on building this project, whether for the primes or the prime or the subcontractors. And then there's the 160 officers and superior officers that will be working there every day after there's a ribbon cutting. I will just conclude by saying it is time, and the opportunity is here for us to leverage quite a bit of money and do so in the name of the public interest of Lawrence. And I look forward to voting in support of this once again tonight, as we have in the past with the parcel of land and the initial votes on this particular item. So with that, Mr. President, I rest.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next speaker is Councillor Pavel-Payano. Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this is, as my colleagues have said, this is a long time coming, and the need for a station has been clear for decades. So I'm glad that we're making some final steps. I have some questions that are very similar to the questions I asked when we were engaging in a discussion for loading the funds for the school. I am hoping that someone here can talk to us about the percentage of like what work is going to be done to ensure that in the building, in the executing of these funds, that we are making sure that business owners, like members of the BIPOC community, Lawrence business owners, and workers are being hired to to do some of this work. A lot of the residents in Lawrence are either in this field or they own businesses and they have something to do with this field. So I want to make sure that some work is being done to ensure that, at least, at a minimum, a certain percentage of this, of the money that's being spent is coming back to our community, or to at least, BIPOC communities in the region. I think it's, since it's work that the LPS is going to be doing and their consultants are going to be doing. So I'm kind of highly interested in hearing what folks have to say about that.
Is there anybody who wishes to take that on?
I can answer part of that for Mr. Payano. It is a state-funded project, as you said, and there is a percentage that's required under state law for MBE and WBE enterprises. So we are hoping, as you said, that there are talented people that are in the construction business and subcontractors in that area. And again, being a state project, they are more than welcome, if they meet the criteria, to bid on that project. So there's nothing keeping them from trying to get on that project. But in addition to that, there is a minority business enterprise percentage that's required on these projects.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. So that's exactly what I was kind of heading to, and I wanted to make sure that you guys talked about it. So I think, one of the things that we have seen across the state is that when this is successful, the parties that are participating in the project are going beyond just the RFP process to make sure that people are aware and knowledgeable, not just aware about the process, but they're knowledgeable about it, and they're confident in its application. So it's not, where I've seen it be successful, it's not just that, a consultant kind of just, put it out there and, some businesses took it, but like there was active involvement. In particular, I'm interested in some of this work being done within our city. Now, chiefs and LPD's job is, dealing with, public safety. So like I'm very interested in sort of ensuring that anybody else involved in the process, our consultants, consultants, everybody that's working on it, that we are making positive steps to ensure that we are doing everything possible to not just get to those percentages, because I think that that's like the lowest bar, but to go higher. If it's possible that the city of Lawrence might be spending close to 40 million. It'd be great if I could go back to our residents and our constituents and saying that a lot of that money is going to go straight back to the community. So it's not just a project that is important for the safety of our city, but that it's going to boost the economy of our city as well. So I'm hearing that there's some work to be done, but I would say that I think there should be a plan that's put forward on that.
Mr. Schilt?
I can add to that. This, because of public bidding requirements, and it will be advertised not only locally through the paper of jurisdiction, but it will be through the state. And so any bidding parties, as Mr. Jackson referenced, we do have percentage requirements for minority and women-owned businesses, but they also do have to be certified by the state and submit their project bids. So what I would encourage the residents of Lawrence that are interested in bidding on projects is to make sure that they start now to become certified by the state, to get on the approved contractors bidders lists, and to keep their eyes open, because they will be eligible for the bidding process. And so that's a way to get the local communities involved by word of mouth, to make sure that they're certified and on the approved contractors lists.
Thank you, Mr. Schilt. Can I ask, what is your title and organization?
My title?
Yes, sir.
I'm the Senior Project Manager at DCAM.
Okay, great. So very, very great advice. And I think that that's great for us to know. And I'll make sure, to follow that, with the city, because maybe we can host some workshops on that. So what I'm, kind of interested in seeing if there is the capability between the several folks that are working within this to be partners and to make sure that as we're moving forward on this, that we're creating. So one of the things that the consultants for LPS are doing is that they're doing their own workshops, and they're going to actively be using community partners to create awareness of the different RFPs and the different opportunities that there exist within the Oliver School project. And sometimes, especially within communities like ours, even though everybody through the bidding process, everyone gets their fair share, I think in the past there's been some hesitancy within these projects, because folks don't really understand it. They don't know the background. They never get picked. They don't want, so there's some confusion and mistrust on that. That seeing the folks that are the decision makers and seeing that there's active, it's a welcoming process and it's done transparently. I think that it will move a lot of folks within Lawrence to apply. So I'd like to, for the LPS project, one of the things that we did was that there was an amendment where I think twice a year we were getting some type of report back from, I think it was quarterly, we were getting a report back from consultants from somebody from the project, letting us know where we were at as far as meeting those numbers. So if we ask for that, is that something that you guys would be able to do?
I don't see that being a problem at all. Whatever you need, I think we'll be more than willing to provide.
I apologize, I'd muted myself. It is a requirement for the construction managers to submit monthly reports on MWBE status in the projects.
Okay, Mr. President, I'd like to make an amendment for the City Council to receive a quarterly report listing, I'm sorry, Mr. Schultz, what did you call it? MB?
Minority/women business enterprises.
So, a percentage of minority/business women enterprises that have come on as consultants, and also percentage of individuals from the BIPOC community that are working within these projects.
Are you looking to have a standalone amendment, Mr. Piano, or are you looking to add that as a friendly amendment to the?
Friendly amendment if the owner of this motion says yes.
Councilor Dela Cruz, do you accept the friendly amendment?
Of course I do. I do believe that we need people from the community to be part of any historical, important business or construction that is being done.
Councilor Cruz, I'd like to add, if I may, Mr. President, also the percentage of folks that are coming from Lawrence in particular.
Yes, I will agree with that.
Thank you. And thank you, all of you, for moving this project along. I mean, we're still more than a year away from opening up, but I think, little by little, we're getting there. So I'm glad that we're this close.
Are there any, thank you. Are there any other councilors who wish to speak on this matter? I'm about to close down, but I do think the Vice President, you have your hand up. Go ahead, Council Vice President.
Thank you, Councilor President. Thank you, Chief Basket, Captain McNamara, and all the party involved in this project. Councilor, I encourage all of you to be voting in favor. This is a project that has been going on for 8 years. 3 years ago, our state rep, Frank Moran, was able to secure 25 million with the help of the rest of the money with the government. Any of you who wish to continue this conversation, last week, I think it was last week, Chief, that state rep and myself, we went to your office. And we were just talking about this project. I had been very, very involved. It was a time that Chief Roy Basque and myself, we was planning to go to the lobby day and ask and request for more money to advocate for this project. I know that he's saying yes, because this has been something that has been in our head for a long time. We all know the exiting condition of this building. It's not something that anyone can feel proud of it. And like one of the councilors, I think it was Councilor Maria de la Cruz was mentioning, it's very embarrassing when we go and we see people in the waiting area outside. Winter, summer, it looks like they're not going for looking for help. I think it looks more that they are looking for trouble. So this is not something that we deserve. And not all of that, but I think our constitution, our citizen, I think this is something that finally we are going to be taking the final step. Thank you all for participating. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I encourage you, if you have any more questions, you can contact the chief. He's always flexible. And just try to squeeze anything that you might have in mind that you haven't this opportunity to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion passes. The bond authorization is approved. And this passes the 6 vote margin needed. Chief, did you want one final word before you leave here?
Just one final word, Council. I just want to thank each and every one of you. You've been tremendously supportive over all the years. On behalf of the men and women, thank you very much. We are certainly cognizant of building a facility that you all will be proud of, and certainly the community will be proud of. And as I've mentioned before, front and center would be a community room that we can all, share in, and the community can use as well on their own. Finally, an area where they can come with dignity and respect and receive the treatment that they deserve and have the privacy that they deserve to go through the services that they need. So I can't say enough about how this is going to be the envy of the Commonwealth, and we have such an opportunity. And I really want to thank you, each and every one of you, from the bottom of my heart, for the support that you've had over the years. It really, really means a lot to everyone involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
We're going back up to the
Good
top.
job.
Back up to the top of the public hearings. Document 921. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Document 921, notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence to be further amended by adding the following subparagraph to section 10.36.260 of the municipal code, 15-minute parking, to be inserted in the proper alphabetical order. Newberry Street, west side, from point 272 feet northerly of the intersection of Elm Street to a point 292 feet northerly of the intersection of Elm Street. To the extent that there exists any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Thank you very much. The public hearing for this item is now open. Is there any members of the public who wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. Councilors, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilor Selena Reyes, seconded by the Vice President. Discussion? Hearing none.
Council President?
Oh, Councilor Dela Cruz. Yes, you have the floor.
168 is in my district, and I would like to say that it is very important for 168 to be approved tonight, because that street is always full of children that are participating in Lawrence Community Works programs. There is a lot of crossing around there. Then having a no parking sign, I think we should be doing a little bit more than that. I think we should paint the crossing around there, because sometimes kids are crossing and they don't even looking around. Then no parking sign will help people who are driving, but at the same time, it's a very dangerous corner for the kids in the community, especially when the water park is open. Then I would like to ask Councilor Selena if I could do a friendly amendment to add painting the floor for the, at this moment, it's really dangerous when the water park is open. And my internet is having trouble, and I might gonna take me out. I would like to ask Selena.
Do you understand what the request is, Councilor Selena Reyes?
Setting.
So the request is to, I believe, is to have signage and also some line painting or painting of lines in that area. Is that accurate, Councilor De La Cruz? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so do you accept that, Councilor Selena Reyes, as part of your motion?
Yes.
Motion as has been accepted. Any more comments on this matter before we call a vote? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez, Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next document is document 3621. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Document 3621, notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning a petition presented by the Massachusetts Electric Company, DBA National Grid of North Andover, Mass. 01845, requesting the City of Lawrence conduits, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures as may be necessary for the transmission of electricity. Said underground conduits to be located substantially under and across the public way or ways hereinafter named. Essex Street, beginning at a point approximately 0 feet west of the center line of the intersection of Mill Street and Essex Street, and continuing approximately 70 feet in a southwest direction. National Grid to install 4 to 4 inches of concrete encased conduit for cable to proposed heavy-duty handhold 199-1. A copy of the related plan, the petition, and all documents filed on behalf of the petitioner are available for examination, viewing, and copying at the office of the city clerk, City Hall, 200 Common Street, Lawrence, Mass. Any business day during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and is also available at the City Council public hearing website located at www.cityoflawrence.com/document center/index/164. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Thank you. The public hearing is now open. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. Council, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve?
Motion by Councilor Estela Perez, Vice President Estela Reyes, seconded by Councilor Jorge Gonzalez. Discussion. Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next document is document number 4721. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Document 4721. Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning a petition presented by the Massachusetts Electric Company, DBA National Grid of North Andover, Mass. 01845, requesting the City of Lawrence conduits, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures as may be necessary for the transmission of electricity. Said underground conduits to be located substantially under and across the public way or ways herein named at Essex Street and Amesbury Street, beginning at a point approximately 25 feet east of the center line of the intersection of Essex Street and Amesbury Street, and continuing approximately 200 feet in a southwest direction. National Grid proposes installation of 200 plus or minus of 6 to 4 inch concrete encased conduit from existing manhole vault 857 located on Essex Street to propose double entry manhole 900 with ventilation stacks located on Amesbury Street. A copy of the related plan, the petition, and all documents filed on behalf of the petitioner are available for examination, viewing, and copying. The office of the city clerk, City Hall, 200 Common Street, Lawrence, Mass. Any business day during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and is also available at the City Council public hearing website located at www.cityoflawrence.com/document center/index 164. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Public hearing is now open. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, the public hearing is closed. Counselors?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion to approve by Counselor Estela Reyes. I believe that was by Counselor Selena Reyes. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Abdu,
Yes.
Counselor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez. Noted. Counselor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next document is document 7521. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Document 7521. Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning a petition presented by the Massachusetts Electric Company, DBA National Grid of North Andover, Mass. 01845, and Verizon New England, Inc., requesting the city of Lawrence by and through its city council members for permission to construct a line of underground electric conduits, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures as may be necessary for the transmission of electricity. Said underground conduits to be located substantially under and across the public way or ways hereinafter named. Water Street, National Grid to install one JO pole 1016-50 on Water Street, beginning on point approximately 0 feet southwest of the center line of the intersection of Chandler and Water Street, and continuing approximately 110 feet in the southwesterly direction for commercial service upgrade. A copy of the related plan, the petition, and all documents filed on behalf of the petitioner are available for examination, viewing, and copying. The office of the city clerk, City Hall, 200 Common Street, Lawrence, Mass. Any business day during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and is also available at the City Council public hearing website located at www.cityoflawrence.com/document center/index/164. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Public hearing is now open. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, public hearing is now closed. Counselors?
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve by the Vice President. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Maria Dela Cruz. Discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counselor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor Abdu,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Levy, Counselor Levy. Noted. Council President LaPlante.
Yes.
Council Levy, yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Document is approved. Document 7621. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Document 7621, notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning a petition presented by the Massachusetts Electric Company, DBA National Grid of North Andover, Mass. 01845, requesting the city of Lawrence by and through its city council members for permission to construct a line of underground electric conduits, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures as may be necessary for the transmission of electricity. Said underground conduits to be located substantially under and across the public way or ways hereinafter named. Short Street, National Grid to install one SO pole on Short Street, beginning at a point approximately 32 feet east of the center line of the intersection of Short Street to support the service of power for streetlights on Short Street. Pole location on the east side of Short Street, approximately 32 feet from the center line of Short Street and the south side of Chestnut Street, approximately 55 feet from the center line of Chestnut Street. Copy of the related plan, the petition, and all documents filed on behalf of the petitioner are available for examination, viewing, and copying at the office of the city clerk, City Hall, 200 Common Street, Lawrence, Mass. Any business day during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and is also available at the City Council public hearing website located at www.cityoflawrence.com/document center/index/164. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Public hearing is now open. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. Councilors?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Stella Reyes, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next items are appropriation orders, requests, and petitions. Document 10821 is the Budget Finance Committee. Document number 10921, year-end transfers between departmental accounts is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Document 11021, FY22 annual authorization of revolving funds is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Committee reports, document 7721. Clerk, I'm handing over the gavel to the Council Vice President. I am recusing myself from this matter because of advisement out of the Ethics Commission due to a conflict of interest. Madam Vice President, will you please take the gavel?
Yes. Okay. Document 77-21, order to spend grant funds mass debt on environmental protection, 42,000. It has been put in agenda by acting DPW Franklin Miguel. Mr. Chair from the Budget and Finances.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Vice. On May 24th, the Budget and Finance Committee voted by unanimous vote to recommend to the full council item number 7721, order to expend grant funds, Mass Department of Environmental Protection, in the amount of $42,000 as submitted by Franklin Miguel, the acting DPW director. I submit that to you in the form of a motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Motion has been made, properly second. Any question? None? Roll call.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano, Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council Vice
Yes.
President Estela Reyes,
Yes. Motion
Council
carries.
President LaPlante recuses.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much, Madam.
Councilor-
Thank you.
Go
Vice
ahead.
President. Appreciate it. Thank you. The next document is document 9921. Chairman of the Budget Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 9221, order authorizing to expend grant funds, Essex County COVID-19 Response Fund in the amount of $12,500 as submitted to by Martha Velez. Received a favorable recommendation from the Budget and Finance Committee, and I submit that to you in the form of a motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Councilor Estela Reyes. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. What was the vote total on that?
8 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you. The next document is document 9321. Chairman of the Budget Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 9321, appropriation transfer from free cash to account 012211-5130, fire suppression overtime in the amount of $350,000. Account 012211-5110, fire suppression permanent salaries in the amount of $100,000 for a total of $453. That item was recommended with a favorable recommendation by the Budget and Finance Committee, and I submit that to you in the form of a motion.
Motion
Second.
and seconded by the Vice President. Discussion. No discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez, noted. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano, Councilor Payano,
Present.
thank you. Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Document 9521, Budget Committee Chairman, Mr. Abdu.
Thank you, Mr. President. On May 24th, the Budget and Finance Committee recommended recommended unanimously by favorable recommendation for item number 9521, request to expend grant funds, spring break around the world grant in the amount of $1,000 as submitted by our library director, Jessica Villas-Novas. I submit that recommendation to you in the form of a motion.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez, noted. Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. Document 9621, clerk, please call the roll. I'm sorry. Ahead of myself there for a second. Mr. Abdu, Chairman of the Budget Committee. Your report, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hopefully this one goes a little easier for both of us. Council document, agenda item number 9621, the Budget and Finance Committee recommended by unanimous vote to vote in favor of its favorable recommendation for item number 9621, request to expend grant funds, cultural passes grant in the amount of $2,315 as submitted by Cassandra Abu Farah and Jessica Villas-Novas, and I submit that to you in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Counselor Gonzalez. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Salinas Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next document is document 9721. Chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee, Mr. Abdu.
Yes, thank you. The Budget and Finance Committee recommended by unanimous vote in favor of document number 9721, request to expend grant funds, state aid grant in the amount of $195,877.15 as submitted by Jessica Villas-Novas, and I submit that to you in the form of a favorable recommendation.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded by Vice President Reyes. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Salinas Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next document is document 121. Budgeting Committee Chairman Abdu.
Thank you, Mr. President. Document number 121, request to expend grant funds, critical services to address COVID-19 emergency in the amount of $209,550 was recommended by unanimous vote by the Finance Committee, and I submit that to you in the form of a motion.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded by Vice President Reyes. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Salinas Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. Next are Ordinance Committee reports. Document 8721, Chair of the Ordinance Committee, Vice President Estela Reyes.
Thank you, Councilor President. Document 8721, request to locate pole in wires and fixture. National Grid and Verizon relocate 5 OJ poles on Merrimack Street. It has been sent out with the favor recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Made and seconded by Counselor Gonzalez. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Salinas Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. The next are withdrawals. Document 8921. Is there a motion to withdraw this document? So road approval to convert Diamond Street Diamond Street from a two-way street to a one-way street. Is there a motion to withdraw?
So moved.
So
Motion made. Is
second.
there a second? Seconded by Vice President Reyes. Discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Payano.
Yes.
Councilor Abdu.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Are there any tabled matters that wish to be brought up this evening? I want to bring up document number 8121. I just want to ask Councilor Payano, this is the one with the IRAP and Mass DOT Industrial Rail Access Program. Were you able to get the information that you received? If you are, we can maybe have a vote on that. If not, we can keep it tabled.
Sorry, Councilor LaPlante, can you repeat the number?
Sure, 8121, the acceptance of grant funds for the Mass DOT's Industrial Railroad Access. Were you able to receive the documents you requested and able to?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to hand over the gavel to Councilor Estela Reyes and Councilor, because she had the floor last time this was discussed. Councilor, you have the.
So I'd like to make a motion to take out item 8121 from tabled matters.
Second.
Motion has been made properly second. Roll call.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Abdu.
Councilor Abdu will be recusing himself from this matter. Present or recused.
Recuse. Okay. Councilor Payano.
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor Estela Reyes.
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, Councilor Payano, I believe that you have the floor.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure, thank you, Madam Vice President. There was a letter that was sent to us May 19th from a Mr. Scott Conti from Mass DOT, where he says that this is a letter to confirm that the MBTA has provided surplus rail in sufficient quantity to fulfill the need of the City of Lawrence projects to restore and improve the rail's connections to its industrial park. I want to make sure that that letter is part of our record. I'm not sure, the right process for doing that, but I want to make sure that that letter and the documentation that was emailed to us as part of our record for historical purposes.
So are you making a motion to make part of our record?
I mean, if we need to, so sure. So I'd like to make a motion that the letters that were sent to us by Mr. Soto and Mr. Conti are part of the records that go along with this particular item.
Second. And I hear second by Councilor President. Roll call.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Payano.
Yes.
Councilor Abdu recuses. Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes.
Yes. Motion carried.
So I'd like to, there was a previous motion that I had to deny. I would like to, I don't know what the right terminology would be, but to take that back.
Withdraw, Councilor?
Yeah, so withdraw that motion. And I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Payano, second by Councilor President. Roll call.
Councilor Levy,
Present.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu recuses, Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Council President LaPlante,
Yes.
Council Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes. So can you read the number, please?
6 yes, 1 present, 1 absent, 1 recuses.
I just have a discussion, Madam Vice President, and I just have one question I'd like to ask.
Okay. Go ahead, Councilor Payano.
I don't know, is Mr. Soto here with us, Madam Vice President?
Is Mr. Soto here? I don't think he is.
Okay, so my questions might not be answered. So my question was, there was a document that was sent to us, Exhibit B, where it talked about a work statement. And within that work statement, there was, I'm sorry, I think Exhibit C was a project budget. So it showed, what was highlighted was the cost that the city of Lawrence would need to make. And it looks like that for most of it, the support and labor and materials costs, that cost could be done, support and labor and then materials. So actually, Madam Vice President, so my question is that there was a letter that was sent to us, essentially saying that the MBTA would cover rail, and that there was an in-kind contribution that was given to the project from the MBTA. We have a Exhibit C project budget where materials, there's an asterisk around materials, and of $82,000, and it said most materials are anticipated to be provided to the city of Lawrence from the MBTA. So, I'm assuming, in the letter itself from the MBTA, it does not state exactly how much materials, but Mr. Conti does say that it's a sufficient quantity to fulfill the needs of the city of Lawrence to restore and improve the rail. So I'm assuming that it's at that amount, even though it's concerning that an actual number isn't given. But my worry is also that under support labor and materials, which is a big chunk, 115,680. Mr. Soto didn't put an asterisk on that to state that it was that money should also be anticipated to be provided by that in-kind contribution. That the in-kind contribution can also cover that chunk. Outside of that, there is a $34,000 cost. By the city of Lawrence, which is obviously not as high as the, almost $200,000 that comes from the labor and material. So I just had a question around that. I don't know if there's anyone here that could potentially answer that.
Is anyone here that might can answer that question for Councilor Payano? Councilor Payano, I don't see anyone here. I think we went back to the same conversation that we had the last time. I think we might have to get in touch with Mr. Soto to answer all of the question.
So can we send correspondences to Mr. Soto so he could be with us at our next meeting and provide those answers, because I think he did give us, reason I was in favor of bringing it up today, that he did give us, the information that he promised that he would send to us. But I think that the precise conversation, I think there was some confusion because, essentially saying that highlighting the $80,000 and saying that was covered, and not highlighting the $110,000 and saying, there was no statement whether those materials were covered or not. I think it's important for us to kind of know whether we would be, whether the city would have to cover that amount. I think the other 30,000 is not, $30,000. It's not a huge amount for a project of this size, but $110,000 is a big chunk of money. So I'd like to present that as a formal motion.
Can I hear a second?
Second.
Point of parliamentary inquiry, Madam
Okay,
Chair.
Councilor President.
I want everyone to feel comfortable about the vote. Obviously, we just had the vote and we just passed it.
Yes.
Can we maybe get that document to Mr. Soto and specifically ask him that and get that to us? This item is now complete, Madam President, Vice President. And so, but I do want the counselor who's raising a good question to get a good answer, and he deserves that. So maybe we could make a motion to have a letter from all of us on behalf of Councilor Payano to get that information and just get that to us. And then he can have that for the records, add that for the official record, in addition to the earlier motion that we made with that letter that was given by the state officials. Would that work through you, Mr. Payano?
So I think whatever way we would get that information. So if it's him giving a letter, or him talking to us, I think it's in the and I lapse of my part of not seeing that earlier. But I think it's important, since he came before us and, he stated that, he's giving us assurance that the materials cost are completely covered, that would be important that he give us information to that part. If it's done through email, I'm okay with that.
I think through you, Madam Chair, I think it's probably easier that way, because it gets fuzzy with the parliamentary stuff. But I want the council, I want all us to get that information. I will second that motion for that letter being sent out by email and for all of us to get that response. I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Councilor President. Well taken point. And Councilor Payano, yes, because if we decided to go with your first motion, we're not going to have any document in front of us to be open a discussion, and if we don't have anything to be open to talk. So the motion has been made by Councilor Payano, second by Councilor President. Roll call.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Payano.
Yes.
Councilor Abdul recuses. Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes.
Council Vice President Stella Reyes.
Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Are there any other table matters that we want to take off the table matters this evening? I'd like to just take a couple of table matters as we're trying to slowly kind of condense it. These are things that I think have gone away and have been resolved. One of them is 22419, amending the zoning section 2915. Is there a motion to take that off of the table for the purposes of withdrawing?
So move.
So moved by Councilor Reyes. Is there a second?
Second.
seconded by Vice President. Discussion, no discussion, just take it off the table. Roll call, please.
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez. Noted. Counselor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion to take off the table carries. I'm now looking for a motion to withdraw this item.
So move.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded by Counselor Gonzalez. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez. Noted. Counselor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counselor Abdu,
Present.
Counselor Selena Reyes, noted. Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Counselor Selena
Counselor
Reyes.
Selena Reyes,
Voting yes.
yes.
A motion withdrawal carries. One more, for the purposes of withdrawal, a document with, can I entertain a motion for take off the table document number 35419 Oliver School Building Project? Is there a motion to take that off the table?
Move.
Motion made, I think by Counselor, say it again.
Second.
De La Cruz.
It's Counselor De La Cruz, seconded by Counselor Selena Reyes. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Abdu,
Yes.
Counselor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez. Noted. Counselor Estela Reyes,
Present.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The motion to take off the table carries. I am now looking for a motion to withdraw document 35419.
So move.
Second.
Made by Counselor De La Cruz, seconded by Counselor Abdu. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Estela Reyes,
Present.
Counselor Rodriguez. Noted. Counselor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counselor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor Abdu,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Present.
Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. What is the count on that, clerk?
6 yes, 2 present, 1 absent.
Thank you very much. The motion to withdraw passes. I'm going to push my luck with one more. Just the last one. Which one is it?
Last one.
Last one, I promise. No more withdrawals
Okay.
on table matters. We're slowly getting this down. We're not doing it all in when I had one. Here it is. Document 40219. Is there a motion to take that off the table for purposes of withdrawal?
So move.
Motion made by Councilor Vice President. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Discussion, vote to take off the table. Clerk?
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
Counselor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LeBlanc.
Yes, motion to take off the table passes. I'm now looking for a motion to withdraw document 40219. Is there a
Make a
motion?
motion.
Motion made.
Second.
Gonzalez, seconded by Councilor Estela Reyes. Discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano. Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LeBlanc.
Yes. The motion carries. That is it for withdrawals this evening. Thank you, Councilor. Every now and then we'll just chip away a little bit, and that'll be it for this evening. We are going to go to new business. Document 10121, handicap parking at 69 East Side Street. That is going to the Ordinance Committee. Document 10221, invoice of $681,000 for current LPS year services. That is going to Budget and Finance. 10321, acceptance of grant funds of up to $89,775.04 is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. 10421, residential parking permit parking ordinance amendment was put on the agenda by myself, will be going to the Ordinance Committee. Document 10521, this is co-sponsored by Councilor Levy and Councilor Piano, deals with the Board of Directors. I don't know what this is. Can you just give it a little bit of light as to what this is so I can send it to the right committee? Councilors?
Mr. President?
Miss Levy?
Yes, we would like to hear a little bit about the ERCICA, or, and have more information about everything regarding the board of directors, the money that they collect every day, every time, every month, whatever, So we would like to hear a little bit more about what's going on with the ERCICA.
So just so I'm clear, because there's a couple places we can send this. Is this something you're just looking for an overview of what's going on with LCAT, kind of an informational thing? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So based on that information, that's going to be going to the committee on the whole. The next document is that's the LCAT Board of Directors request an update information about community television station committee on the whole by Councilors Levy and Councilor Piano. 10621, order to expend grant funds, transformative development initiative, creative catalyst grant is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. 10721, surplus declaration, 100 Summer Street, tax map 107, lot 47 is going to the Housing Committee. Document 11121, permission to hold a fundraising carnival at the former Showcase Cinemas parking lot. That is going to the Ordinance Committee. The next document is 11221.
Okay.
Somebody wishes to speak on this matter? Who's looking for the floor?
John Flynn from Fiesta Shows.
Okay. Are you working through a city councilor? Because right now we're sending this to a committee. Councilor, this is not a public participation section of the meeting. This is new business that we're putting to certain locations. So unless the council wishes to intervene,
emergency,
unless the council wishes to intervene.
Council President, I would like to give time to the gentleman from Fiesta Shows. It's possible that they might require, our council to make a determination in an earlier time. So, if we could give the floor to listen to make sure that we are doing things correctly.
We have to make a motion to suspend the rule 11.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend.
treat it.
So I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules then.
There is a motion to I'm not sure which rule is being suspended.
Rule 11, to suspend the rule and treat it as an emergency.
Oh, so,
I believe it's 11.
Council President, we haven't heard what it is, but if it is an emergency, then I would do that. I just don't know what the gentleman's from Fiesta Shows, why they want to respond. I think President LaPlante was saying for us to for a councilor to intervene so that we can grant them the floor. Is that correct, Council President?
Well, I do want to find out what this is so we can send it to the right committee. And if someone is looking to have an emergency or a suspending of the rules, Counselor, if you're looking to, I will certainly grant that. If Counselor Payano, if you're looking to advocate for this, or at least for more information as a courtesy to you, I think that we can do that. Mr. Dean, what is the request that you have?
We're asking to emergency to suspend the rules to go forth before the full council this evening for permission for the carnival June 10th through June 20th.
Thank you. What is the emergency?
The timeline to do the event does not permit going to subcommittee and then back to council based on the operating time.
By our rules, Mr. Dean, that is not an emergency. It has nothing to do with, it seems here has nothing to do with the peace, health, safety, or convenience of the public or their property. I fail to see what the emergency is on this. Why can't we send this to a committee? That's my ruling.
Yep. Mr. President, we, because of the time restraints, we've never gone in front of council before for events on private property. It's always been when we've been, and this is a new thing to me, but we've always gone in front of council for anything that's been done on city parks, or any city property for that matter. We've never gone in front of council in the past for any of the other events on private property. It just goes through licensing and naturally all of the other departments. So this was kind of a new thing on us. And because of that, we've run out of time.
So, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and make a determination today. It is my view. It has nothing to do with the fact that Fiesta Shows has run these types of events for since I was a kid. It has to do that for me, this is a public safety issue. Dealing with the health and safety, dealing with the health of our community is important. And I think that, these types of events are dealing with the opportunity for people to, basically people that have been trapped in their apartments to be able to do a fun activity deals directly with the mental health of our city. And I think that that is a public safety concern. And seeing that, thank you, Councilor Cruz.
Second.
So the ruling of you can certainly, the ruling of the chair is having a carnival is not an emergency, but the proponent is saying that this is an emergency, that we have to have this done, even though that this has been done many times before, even though our laws and our ordinances are very clear on this matter. We look at section 5.20.010, which has been on the books for a while, and I can't explain why that hasn't been done before, councilors, but councilors, this is our rules. We're just trying to follow our rules, right?
So, Council President, so if I may, so it doesn't sound like it's as clear. I've presented an argument stating that the mental health of our community is a public safety concern. There are several times that we've dealt with mental health issues, and it's been sent to the Public Safety Committee. Public safety is not just police and fire. There's a lot of issues that go along with it. I would say, Council President, if you may, to give an opportunity for the folks, the other council members to voice their thoughts on it, and if they don't believe that it's that it is an emergency, then they're free to vote it down. But seeing that this is this this event would happen on June 10th. The next time that we meet, it is the 14th. So this would not, they would not be able to get approval from us. And as I said before, I think the mental health of our community is a public safety concern.
Very good. And I would suggest to you that if that's in fact the case, we can certainly have a carnival at some other time and go through the proper processes. That I'm going to make a ruling on this. I fail to see the connection between public health and a carnival, or mental health and a carnival, which is what the argument is here. The councilors wish to object to that, they may. I'm making the ruling of the chair. That is certainly something that can happen. And there's no discussion on appeal of the rule of the chair. So hearing that,
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to appeal the chair's decision, the president's decision.
so a Rule 9 appeal has been taken. There is no discussion on that. Is there some no debate shall be permitted. So right now we're going to have a vote. There is no second. There is a ruling that's been challenged. Clerk, please call the roll. There's no debate on this.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
No.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez, noted. Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, what is the roll call?
7 yes, 1 no, 1 absent.
So the appeal of the chair regarding the suspension has been overruled. Now there's going to be a motion to vote on the suspension of the rules. Who's making that motion?
I am.
Motion made to suspend the rules. That rule would be rule what? Rule number 12, making this as an emergency.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to make this an emergency. Just to suspend the rules and have a vote this evening. Discussion on the suspension.
So President,
Councilor De La Cruz.
yes, Council President, due to the fact that we just opened up, I think it was just Saturday. I understand the emergency of the people who wanted to open up to the community. I think, like Councilor Payano was saying, we have a lot of people that they won't have the opportunity to go on vacation and to relax and to start all over in September when COVID-19 get to be something of the past. Right now, I understand that we just open it up. Due to that, a lot of activities are going to come to us requesting that they haven't received a notice to let them know that yes, we're going to be able to do activities during the summer. Then due to COVID, a lot of these programs are shutting down, but now they're planning to open up at least 1 day or 2 days of their event. Then we have to be a little flexible. Of course that we are afraid of COVID, but hopefully a lot of people have been going through their shots and their vaccination. We have more people wanting to go out, but making sure that they are vaccinated. That's my hope. Then that's why we would like to thank to these two gentlemen that are trying to bring some entertainment to the community, because for people who can take their kids out, that's fine. But there's a lot of people that they cannot afford to go out of the city of Lawrence to take their kids. Then mentally, it's a need at this moment. That's why I'm going to give this support. Thank you, Mr. LaPlante.
You're welcome. Anybody else wish to speak on this matter?
So I do, Council President. So
Payano.
Thank you, Council President. So thank you, De La Cruz, for your statement. I would just state that, I do, if we are able to suspend the rules and we get to the motion, like I do have some questions about, how they will ensure that this event will be, safe and secure. But, the reason that I believe that we should be suspending the rules is that, we've had a community that for over a year and a half has been locked in. They've been within their apartments, nothing to do. Now, I will say that I think that, we are slowly getting to the point where things are opening up, and that is great because the mental health of not just our kids that haven't been able to go to school, but also, adults as well, our mental health has suffered. And I think that this type of activity kind of opens us up to some normalcy and, coming together, doing something like this could really have some positive influences to the mental health of our community, which is, I want to give these individuals the opportunity to kind of talk about it and explain what it is that they're planning on doing. So that is why I am asking us to suspend the rules.
To Mr. Dean, thank you, Mr. Pound. Any other councilors wish to speak on this, on the suspension of the rules? Mr. Dean, I just have a question. Did you reach out to any of the neighbors in that area about this?
The businesses?
Residents, businesses, anybody? Did you reach out to anybody in that area? I'm most specifically interested in the residents who have a quality of life in that area, but have you reached out to them at all?
No, I have not.
Okay. As with
Council plan is, I'm sorry, Council President, I'm just trying to understand, shouldn't these questions be had if the rules are suspended, right? Because we're suspending the rules on the question at hand is whether this is if there is reason to suspend the rules, not on the motion itself.
Sure.
I think you have some legitimate concerns about the motion, and I have some questions as well.
Sure. So the questions are whether or not the chair is going to be voting a suspension of the rules. So I'll continue on before I can make that decision. The second thing is in the application that you have before us, I just wanted to know, is any of the monies, where are the monies going that you're going to be making?
The monies are going between the Parks Department summer programs and the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence.
So just so councilors are aware, before taking a vote, I did talk to the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence on Friday. They were unaware that this money was going to be allocated to them. I talked to the Recreation Department. It was only when they were going out for signatures did they get any kind of wind that this was going. This was not at least a request from the current administration. So as we go forward with the vote on this, please be mindful of the fact that the application, as we're about to vote on with the suspension of the rules and then final application, it's not factual because the Boys and the Girls Clubs are not aware that there's monies, nor are they endorsing this. So as we go forward with this and nor have this process gone forward with any kind of processes for the people who live in that particular neighborhood. Having said all that, at this point, there is a motion to suspend the rules. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
No.
Councilor Salinas Reyes, Councilor Salinas Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
No. What's the roll?
So I'd like to.
What's the roll? I didn't get the roll
sorry.
call.
My apologies.
It's okay, no worries.
6 yes, 2 no, 1 absent.
Motion to suspend carries.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve with discussion.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
seconded by Counselor Selena Reyes. Discussion, Counselor Payano.
Thank you, Council President. So I want to give an opportunity for Mr. Dean to explain, the project. There was some statement that you just made as far as, that City of Lawrence is going to be receiving some money. So would like an explanation of that as well. Essentially, what type of things are going to be done to ensure that this is it'll be the first sort of type of event in the area that would essentially be open after the governor's announcement. So interested in hearing sort of like what type of public safety, how will you ensure that this event is safe, and also if you're planning on having a conversation with our Board of Health to make sure that whatever you end up doing is aligned with our current policies, that, not even this current council, none of our rules can supersede the Board of Health's policies that are in place. So I have put a few questions out there and would love it if in your statement you could address them.
Thank you, Mr. Counselor. I'm going to have Mr. Flynn answer the first part as far as the event and the city involvement, and then I'll answer the second part of that.
We didn't do an event at Showcase Cinema last year because of COVID, but we have done it there other years, same location. And when we did it before, proceeds from the profits of it went to the Boys and Girls Club and to the summer rec program for the city through Nelson Ortiz. But again, we're doing it for the same people that we did it before in other years at Showcase Cinema.
And so to carry on from that, to answer some of your other questions, we did have a department head meeting earlier this afternoon with Inspector Armano and all the many of the other department heads, police chief, fire chief, and so forth, to talk about the event, to go over any particular things. At this time, based on the restrictions, there are no particular restrictions directly, to having an event like this. But some of the things that I did note in that is, one, over 80% of our staff have been vaccinated with at least one dose, but the vast majority are over 2, and they're continuing to do that. But we're going to still maintain a mask mandate on all of our employees. We do have signage that recommends it to the public, but all of our staff, regardless of vaccination or not, will still be masked during the event's time. And another key component, and we invested in some technology this winter because of COVID to have contactless ticketing system. So we have an electronic ticketing card, just like a Dave & Buster's or a Chuck E. Cheese would be, that it's all done electronically so that the customers don't have that immediate contact in going on amusement rides, back and forth, touching of tickets and kind of the transferring of hands. And we also implemented a new online ticketing purchase program and offer discounts for that to, again, just create more contactless processes that we can put in place to limit the amount of immediate interaction that customers and employees have to have, while on site.
Thank you. So a question, you said that before there was a certain percentage that was of the ticket sales or something that was given to Boys and Girls Club and our recreational department. Do you have an idea of what percentage this year it will be?
Yes, it's 20% of the amusement rides with a minimum guarantee of $5,000 to each charity.
Okay. So I would like, just to make sure that, all of us are sort of clear with that statement, I would like to add that to my motion, to basically put that as a condition. I mean, can you repeat it again, sir? So
$5,000 to both the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence and to the Lawrence Rec Youth Program, summer program.
At a minimum, but you mentioned something else.
Or 20% of the ride gross, whichever is greater of the two.
Whichever is greater of the two. So I'd like to add that as a condition to to this motion.
It is your motion, so that certainly will be included. I believe that's your motion. Is that right, Madam Clerk?
Madam Clerk.
Madam
Yes.
Clerk, okay, Mr. Piana, that is your motion, so that is part of your motion.
So I will give back the floor.
Is there anybody, thank you. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak on this matter?
Mr. President, make a motion to go past 10 o'clock.
Motion made. Is there a
Second.
second? Seconded by Mr. Piano. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Council Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council Rodriguez, noted. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. Are there any other councilors who wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, Madam, I'm going to pass the gavel to the vice chair.
Okay.
There she is, Madam Vice Chair. And this is something that's in my district. And so there's 2 or 3 different elements here. I think that as a courtesy to the people that I represent in District F, if this was any other district, I would certainly honor and respect those counselors in the other areas as well. We don't even go through the motions of allowing the proper process to go through, have it before the committee, have it come before the full city council, but rather on the night, we're jamming it up this evening. As a fundamental principle, by the way, I don't believe in the mental health aspect of a carnival, but I do believe that kids should have a chance to have an enjoyable time. I don't necessarily have a problem, unless I hear from my constituents differently, but I don't necessarily have a problem with there being going by our ordinances and having this carnival take place at this private parking lot. But I don't have a problem after we go through the proper process. And so maybe sometime in July, again, with the caveat being I'm beholden to the people who elect me, right? So I got to listen. Having said all that, I don't see why we have to push it now. I would certainly urge the Fiesta Shows people to relook at their schedule and see if there's a time next month, some other time that they can do it. That way, as a courtesy to the people that I represent, out of respect to the people that I represent, as we try to do the process that's in our laws the right way, that's the reason why we should not do this starting next week and going forward with it. That's my request from Fiesta Shows, because I can count votes and I can see that this thing is going to pass this evening. But as a courtesy to the however thousands of people that I represent, especially the people who live right alongside North Parish Road and by the high school and the stadium projects in that area, I ask for those people, on behalf of those people, that at least have the courtesy of having this go through the right way. The second part of this is is disturbing, is the fact I can't believe we're going to gloss over this. They said in their permission slip to us that they were going to give the Boys Club. And when I talked to Marcus Fisher on Friday, I go, Mr. Fisher, Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club, are you aware this is happening? He goes, I have no idea this is happening. This wasn't even a request. So of course I'm thinking to myself, aren't you going to be talking to the very people you want to assist? I mean, this is part of the teamwork. They didn't ask for this money. They weren't looking for this money, but yet it sounds like we're draping that the organizers are draping themselves around this so that they can so we can feel like we're doing something for them. They didn't ask for this. And I can't speak to the recreation department. There's been a little bit of a turnover going on over there. I don't know all the details behind the previous, but I do know that the current person that's over there was surprised to learn, Ms. Velez was surprised to learn when they were going for their signatures that they were going to give money to the recreation department. Did not know that was happening. Again, at least for this current administration, that was not a request. I mean, I don't know what happened in the past, and we don't have that ability. But that's my colleagues. Listen, I don't have again, with the caveat, I'll repeat, if they want to have a carnival, let them go through the proper process. Let them have it next month. We get what we want. You want to have children have a chance to go out and do stuff. That's fantastic. Respect the people that I represent with that, at least with that motion. And then really, please don't, gentlemen, through you, Madam Vice President, please Don't be putting things on a piece of paper when you haven't had it checked out with the other parties. Because of course, when I see that now, it's making some questions in my mind as to why that's in there. You can understand why I would think that. You know, this is not the first time Fiesta Shows has been in the city of Lawrence. This is, and many people have mentioned, this has been something that has been here for some time. There's been a process, been a lot of processes. We just need to follow
Okay.
them. Thank you.
Mr. Dean or Mr. Flynn, is that something that you considering as change or any arrangement has been made? How do you respond to Councilor President?
Two things. In terms of the funds that are distributed, that was actually originally set up with Nelson Ortiz. Then the property owners themselves, who one of them is a director for the Boys and Girls Club, part of the agreement with him was that the proceeds would be going to the Boys and Girls Club. You know, in terms of other dates, we really don't have any other available dates at this point in time. You know, if there was, naturally, we would do our best to accommodate everybody, but I don't have other times.
Okay. So why was the reason that you didn't submit all the paperwork on time when you know this is not the first time that you had been requested to be held accountable in this city? I mean, you're not new in the city. You're not new in front of us. You know the process. So give us a reason why that we have to treat this as an emergency.
In the past, over the past 30 years, with the events that we've done on the Common, Pemberton Park, South Common, North Common, we've always gone through the full process. We've never done it when we've been on private property where we're told we didn't have to do it. So this is a new thing for myself to go in front of council to request private property. We've just never done it before with the other events that we've done.
Okay, any other councilor? Councilor Payano.
Thank you. So just real quick, I think some of the important things for us to keep in mind is that we have on previous years, at least for the 3.5 years that I've been here, things of this nature have occurred with some of the organizations that nonprofit organizations that are trying to rent space. I mean, not rent space, to have something at the Common or elsewhere. So I think we should definitely keep that in mind. And the other thing is, as far as when making, I've done several events in the past where I've asked my friends to contribute a certain amount that would be donated to organizations like the Boys and Girls Club. Just because I am doing an event and I don't necessarily have a conversation with the folks who I want to give the money to, does not mean that there's something shady going on, especially if this has been done in previous years. I think one of the good things that we've done here is that we're putting that condition as part of the motion to make sure that everything's full and transparent. Yeah, I think that this is going to be a great opportunity for the city of Lawrence to sort of have for there to be a breath of fresh air and for us to come together. So thank you, and I ask for folks to vote in favor of this motion.
Any other councilor?
I support everything what Councilor Payano said.
Okay, Councilor President, you want to take the gavel back?
No,
and
you
call
got a
the motion?
question, Madam Chair.
Okay. So the motion, Councilor Payano, you just made a motion?
So the motion was, there was a motion to approve.
And who seconded?
Okay.
Councilor Selena Reyes seconded. Roll call.
Councilor Levy.
Councilor
Levy.
Yes. Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Abdu.
No.
Councilor Abdu. Councilor Payano.
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Council President LaPlante.
No.
Councilor Estela Reyes.
Yes. What was the number?
6 yes, 2 no, 1 absent.
Okay. Motion carried.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next item, document 11221, acceptance of Diamond Street as a public way. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Councilors, there has been a city councilor who has approached me regarding a conflict on the night of the budget. I have no easy way, I've talked to several of you, of getting to an endpoint where everybody will be there at the council vote. Currently, the budget hearing for the final vote of the counts of the budget is on the 22nd of June. I know that a counselor is unable to make it on that day and has asked for a different date. A different date was offered and another counselor couldn't make it on the substitute date. So we're in this really weird spot. My sense at this point, unless someone's got some very strong feelings about this, just because we're not going to get to a place where everybody's going to be able to make it, and we have a hard deadline, right? We have to pass this. We've got to vote on this budget before, I think it's the 28th, 27th, the 28th, something like that, because there's a deadline. So I, as a courtesy to my colleague who had some conflicts, I suggested I would at least broach it this evening out of fairness to the colleagues, but understanding that it's like no matter which way we go on this, at least at this point, I don't know if we can find a resolution. Not only that, but we also have reporting requirements. We have to have a notice in the Eagle Tribune, and there's a window as well that we've got to play with. So there's a couple of moving pieces which makes this difficult to do. At this point, I throw this all out to you because I want my colleagues to understand that I'm listening. I understand, but the challenge that we're facing now is trying to figure out how to do this. And so I'm going to, at this point, I know that the 17th was thrown out as a possible date. Plus, we would have to have a special meeting just to vote and change it. And we could do that perhaps as early as before any of the meetings next week. But at this point, that's the challenge. So I say all of this just to get to the point of, I don't think we can change the budget meeting on the 22nd. If I'm hearing from counselors that there's more than 2 counselors that have an issue with that can't make it on that day, then the calculus starts to change, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there as an administrative item. So at this point, unless somebody is looking to really move something, and then we're going to have a discussion regarding it, and we can't finish it up anyway because we have to have a special meeting to have a vote on any kind of changes, I'm going to leave it, and I'm kind of saying this haphazardly on the 22nd. I see that Councilor De La Cruz has her hand raised. Councilor De La Cruz?
Council President.
Yes.
Is there a possibility that we change it for June 17th?
I believe that one of the counselors that I talked to prior to this meeting will not be able to make it on June the 17th. We're trying. We made a commitment early on for the 22nd. I thought we were all on board, which is why we had that meeting. And now it's going to be rather unfair to now change that if another counselor can't make it on that day.
Well,
and that's the challenge. If we go on the 17th, I'm missing other counselors, maybe plural, at least one, maybe more.
Can we do the 18th?
I don't.
It is the
we're having a tough spot now on the 18th. I don't think that the 18th will work. I don't think the 18th will work, whereas I do think that people were planning on the 22nd and we're working around that schedule. So what I could do is this. After this meeting tonight, even if I say contact me after this meeting tonight, what I don't want to do is embarrass any city councilors. That's not my gig, right? I want to treat you all with respect and then not move things around. So my sense is that if you want to contact me afterwards, maybe we can do a straw poll on some things, but keep in mind, our window is very narrow as to when we can get this thing done. So let me leave it there. Contact me after this meeting, or, as more of a straw poll kind of thing. And then we can see what we can do, but it's going to be hard. I don't want to give any false expectations. So we'll leave it there. So contact any councilors who wish or have a schedule. Here's what we can do. Here's, I think, the best way. If you got a schedule after the 16th to the 22nd, send me your schedule. Let me know what that is, and then I'll take a look at it. And if we have to, we can make changes. But if I'm missing a counselor, out of respect to that, at least one counselor, I have a hard time switching it. So I think that's the best I can do at that point. I'm struggling, as you can see, to try to make everybody happy, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So, and I apologize for that. So I'll leave it there. Contact me afterwards. Send me an email, send me a text, give me your availability from the 17th. Let me get my calendar. Give me something from the 16th to the 24th. Let's take a look at that. And then if I get enough, I'm gonna have to call a special meeting just to have a vote. Are we clear? 16 to 24, please counselors, please give me your schedules. Let me know if you have any availability, and then I'll take a look at that. And if I can make it work, we'll make it work. Sound fair? It's the best I can do. Thank you. Councilor Dela Cruz, are you done? Councilor Dela Cruz, your hand's still up.
I'm done.
Okay.
Thank
you. All right, we're gonna move on. A couple other housekeeping items as well. Listen, this could be our last virtual meeting. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, the governor has not done anything with respect to changing those laws, and the 15th is coming around real quick. And all that stuff we read at the beginning of the meeting about the special Governor Baker's emergency stuff, all that's gone on the 15th of June. That's our next city council meeting. And right now I haven't seen anything pass. And even if we were to pass, if the legislature were to pass something, we don't have the cameras, the stuff, even if we were going to. So I'm letting you know right now, I don't see a way out of not coming to the chambers on the 15th. So I think expect to come to the chambers on the 15th. Unless something magical happens, I see us being in the chambers. I'm sure that's good news for some and not so good news, but I don't have a choice, I don't think, in that. So come with the 15th and we'll deal with it then. I think that's
Councilor
it.
President,
Council Vice President.
did you read the last item in the new businesses, 112?
I did read that one, yeah.
Okay.
I did, yeah. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, let's go through budget. Let's go through committee assignments. Housing. You have one.
Yes, so Monday, 6:30.
Okay. Thank you. Personnel.
After 14 months, I can't find the mute button. There are no personnel items to be taken up at this time.
Okay, fine. How about budget and finance?
Budget and finance, if you will indulge me, we have a meeting this Thursday on the FY22 budget. And we have another one on Monday at 7 o'clock on the FY22 budget. After conferring with my colleagues on the Budget and Finance Committee, we are going to meet on Wednesday, June 9th it will be a continuation of Monday, the 7th. We will recess on the 7th. Should there be items that were not completely vetted on the 7th, they're scheduled to be completed on the 7th. We are going to activate the 9th, which was always a plan if needed, for anything left over from the 7th and take up the 6 items from this evening. So as these things get posted, it would be a continuation of the FY22 budget plus this evening's new items.
Okay. Back to the Personnel Committee, Mr. Chairman. I know that there's been some talk and maybe some movement on the clerk, city clerk position. So is that possible? Are you still in a holding pattern? So you just may call something depending on how things materialize? May call an audible of some sort if things move?
Yes, again, I would have to confer with members of that committee, though I would note we have potentially 3 budget meetings next week, which would leave Tuesday and Friday as I have no problem with weekends, but that's usually not a very popular item.
Yeah.
So next week gets kind of tough because I know it's not only myself that sits on both committees.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all your help on all those issues. Now we're the Vice President and Chair of the Ordinance Committee.
Since we do not have urgent item, I'm going to leave it open for the Budget and Finances since they are going to be having a tough week next week. No ordinance meeting.
Okay. Very good. Public Safety.
No meetings.
Okay. Am I missing any committees?
Mr. President, if I may.
Mr. Abdu.
Just a quick point. I just want to be able to say it since I have an audience, both of colleagues and at home. Again, in conferring with colleagues on the Budget and Finance Committee at the request of the Greater Lawrence Technical School and the Lawrence Public Library, each have asked, they're scheduled to be heard this Thursday evening. They've each asked to be moved off of this Thursday evening as it conflicts with graduation activities. So with that, I would just note for those in the public schools, Greater Lawrence Public Schools, charter schools, you will be joined by the Lawrence Technical School on Monday night, as well as the library. So Monday night now, June 7th, appears to be a long night. And I just wanted to caution anyone interested in the library or the Greater Lawrence Technical School that it has been posted for Thursday the 3rd, but they're going to be held on Monday the 7th. It will make for a long night. But then again, now we've got the 9th that we need to meet anyhow for the agenda items assigned this evening. So subject to your questions, that's all I have.
Thank you. See that there are no other matters before the City Council this evening. And of course, anybody on the Budget Committee can certainly reach out to Mr. Abdu about the planning and the scheduling if there needs to be a tweak. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by
Second.
Councilor Anna Levy, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Hearing no discussion, I'll roll. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez. Noted. Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the meeting this evening. We will see you around virtually for the next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.